it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
My heart is beating, baby.
me, baby.
My heart is beating, beating.
The Oracle's outfit and the kitchen design are a reference to Michelangelo's Delphic Sibyl, a painting of a Greek prophet who predicted the coming of the Son of God. And notice when we get introduced to her character for the first time, she is breathing the steam coming off of the oven. This is probably a reference to the fumes the Delphic Oracle inhaled to go into her trance. Number 12. During the interrogation scene, you see Neo on a bunch of monitors awaiting interrogation. Now this is not a secure camera display. It's the architect's POV, focusing its entire attention on Neo. The architect makes an appearance in the next film, The Matrix Reloaded. In fact, in a deleted scene, the architect was supposed to reveal himself to Neo.
Welcome to the stream.
Matrix
Welcome to
1.
the
So
stream.
this was always written on the script. Number 13. When Morpheus and Neo take the elevator to meet the Oracle, there we see the letters KYM or Kim scratched into the elevator wall. This is a reference to the costume designer of this film, Barrett. Number 14. Morpheus has a simulation of his own designed by processing power which can Plato's allegory of the cave since birth. They know nothing for shadows, which they think are real. From the sun's intensity, just like Neo, who he looks like, except just like the even Neo is having a hard time. Come on, considers how one might wish to return to the cave, but because their eyes are no longer to return. This happens with Cypher, who wishes to return to the Matrix with no memory of the truth. So he may continue living in ignorance, but knowledge and wisdom are something you can't unlearn. Number 16. Neo's mother's name is Michelle McGahey, the art director of the film. Number 17. The tie that Morpheus is wearing resembles the Matrix code. There's plenty of stuff like this. For example, the rain on the car window when Neo is being taken to Morpheus again falls in a pattern that resembles the Matrix code. And also, at the beginning of the film, when the cleaners were cleaning the window at Neo's office, they did it in a way that follows the Matrix code. Number 18. Smith tells Morpheus that humans are cancer who move to an area and multiply until all resources are consumed.
Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. Area and versus consume.
The Matrix Revolution, released in 2003, Smith is a virus that consumed every program in the Matrix. Number 19. Construct, aka the White Void, his son, so that we don't see the camera's reflection moving towards him. But in the very next shot, his traditional mirrored glasses are back once again, indicating this was a simple solution to hide the camera rather than spending money on CGI. Which also means Lawrence Fishburne didn't see shit while filming this. Number 20. While waiting to see the Oracle, Neo sees a girl playing with blocks that actually entire. For the television, Morpheus had a void. Morpheus. And a movie with White Rabbit. If you remember, Neo was first told to follow the White Rabbit. This is just a brilliant production. This amazing hints and foreshadows some significant events. And sadly, it seems it takes about 20 years to eventually finally decipher the author. Number 21. Final fight. It's a guard who his rifle. And notice you can clearly see the barrel of the rifle bending as soon as it hits the ground, which is one of the goofs indicates the rifles are bending. Mistakes like this actually make sense in this film. Because it is happening inside the matrix, Neo knows none of it will be the same as supposed to be because it's inside the matrix. The book where Neo hides his programs is called Simulation. A book from 1991 that talks about the relationships of reality and society. The chapter he specifically decided to hide it under is own minds, which is the rejection of believing in anything, including a meaning to life, which is Agent shoots Neo in the chest for the second. This shot at the top, the momentarily sequence of the bomb. As opposed to a light round, is the projectile. Light round is quite important to creates sound and smell. Black round is used mostly for entertainment purposes, whereas a light round is used for the purposes we're aware of. On 24, at the beginning of the
Stop that spinning.
Word of center and cortex, the upper part of the brain. This is what Neo proceeds to do. So we can find out humans
Red point, red point!
So it's not a random name that came up. It's the reference to the story. Number 26, the Oracle phrases her conversation in a way that prevents her from
Maximum force.
whether or not he's
Holy shit, that's so short.
Next line which says Neo's been waiting on the next one. As soon as he dies,
Bro, come on.
I knew a very tornado could not be.
Play again. This is again a brilliant piece of writing and acting. Number YouTube posts some reflect the same thing on both sides. For example, in this shot, many claim that on the left glass there's a gun pointing at Neo, but on the right one there reflects reality while the other does not. But it's not true. Let me debunk that once and for all, okay? Because so later, you can see the gun reflecting in both of the glasses. It's just the way physics works. If we see it from one specific angle, it would always appear as reality. So despite the popular opinion, there is no Easter egg in Morpheus' glasses. And that's it. But before I end this video, let me ask you
Come on,
the
pick
question.
character.
This video and my favorite detail both happen to be detail number 21. My question to you lads, why do you think I placed that detail specifically at number 21? I want to see how many really got. Please give me a subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter to get updates about my videos. Till then, I'm KSI's Hamster, and I'll see you lads in the next one. Alright lads, so Marvel Studios has just announced their whole Phase 5 slate. But in this video, I'll break down the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, which I watched at 0.25 speed, and found some incredible hidden details. Honestly, be one of the most intriguing trailers since Infinity War. I really choked up watching it, and just realizing we won't see Chadwick Boseman in it really made me feel something that I never thought I'd feel just watching a trailer. Now lads, I'm gonna keep this video exactly on point, but if you just spare me 48 seconds to thank today's sponsor Manscaped, I would really appreciate it. If you're not using Lawnmower 4.0 waterproof body hair trimmer and the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, you can save technology and the Crop collection. With 6 colors to choose from, grab one or a 3-pack and strut down the street knowing your jewels are in good hands. These undies are designed for extra breathability and are anti-chafing, putting comfort and support at the forefront. Go to manscaped.com today and get 20% off plus free international shipping when you use my promo code. 20% off shipping with promo code Pure Balls. Now, Kevin Feige started by saying that Black Panther Wakanda Forever will end so that will be it for the current phase. Now, the trailer opens by showing us a shot of Nakia standing on a beach, and later on we do get to see Shuri and T'Challa's mother, aka Queen Ramonda, in the same beach as well. Of course, T'Challa's loved ones are mourning his passing. T'Challa's death in the MCU. There have been reports that he will die of cancer. Chadwick Boseman himself. And I think that's honestly the only way to go about it if they don't, because T'Challa dying of cancer makes the whole plot much more realistic. And it shows how something as big as cancer can affect even the strongest among us. And all stay sure also indicates a combination of surface. The ocean meets pretty much foreshadows what's to come. Now we also see her wearing a brand new costume, but now it seems it does. In the next shot, we see Queen Ramonda walking into, I want to say, a lab, followed by Okoye, the leader of the Dora Milaje. Now the reason I'm assuming this could be an advanced lab is because of this holographic screen we see here. And this might very well be the place where Riri Williams will do most of her work. And I like how this pattern embedded onto the wall almost looks like Cap's shield, and we do know King T'Challa and Steve Rogers both used to be ruler in the and I think she will probably hold power until a new king is elected through this life or death challenge. And notice in Ramonda's rock-like thing on the armrest, which previously wasn't there when T'Challa used to sit there. So this could have some important meaning in the plot, otherwise I don't see the need of it being there. Let me know what you think about this though. Now here we also see the leader of the Merchant Tribe, the River Tribe, and the Border Tribe. Speaking of which, Daniel Kaluuya, who was the commander-in-chief for the Border Tribe, won't be in this movie due to scheduling conflict, which is honestly a bummer, but hopefully he'll be back for future installments. Now notice how Okoye is sitting here while her second commander-in-chief, aka Ayo, is standing. I really like how the culture of Wakanda always knows to show respect to your superiors without being jealous. And if rumors are to be believed, Okoye has moved on from a relationship with Wakabi and is now in a relationship with another Dora Milaje, aka Aneka, played by Michaela Cole.
I'm fucking.
These reports are true.
I'm fucking weak, bro. I'm dead. That is funny, man.
But in some cultures, white actually represents more.
Man, that nigga ain't out because of scheduling conflicts with no thing even.
And also inside the ancestral plane where T'Challa met his late father T'Chaka, he was also donning a white outfit. So the color white is heavily connected to death in Wakandan culture. Now I understand I didn't have to explain all this because in this shot from the top, we see Shuri carrying the helmet of T'Challa and her mother is also walking beside her. Letitia Wright really acts with her eyes in this scene. I mean, you can see genuine emotions in her eyes there, and her love for Chadwick Boseman. Then we see a baby just born on the water, and this is probably a flashback sequence giving us Namor's backstory. Namor Mackenzie, yes, that is actually his last name in the comics, is the son of a human father and an Atlantean princess, who was raised to be the king of the Undersea. He was created in 1939, long before Marvel even existed. He was later revealed to be the first mutant of the Marvel Universe. Now, Namor was a member of America's invaders during World War II, and was one of the first people to encounter the Fantastic Four after they gained their powers. Although it seems like the MCU Namor will be a lot different compared to comics Namor, because apparently the MCU has changed Namor's original location from the Atlantic to a more South American region. Scientists have indeed found sunken cities in the Caribbean, perhaps as much as 4,500 to 8,000 years old. So this relocation could potentially be based and more a bit, so that things don't match with DC's Aquaman. Now Namor in the comics has wings on his ankles, with Namor has wings on his feet too. And notice this cute baby also has wings on its ankle. According to multiple concept art, this is indeed us getting a backstory as to when and how Namor was born. Then we see this epic shot where Namor turns around and is wearing a Jaguar headdress, which we already knew he'd wear according to multiple concept arts that got leaked a few months ago. Then we see these two giant whales, and in a closer shot, we can see many Atlantean holding onto it. Some are even carrying spears, so this could be them heading towards a fight. On top of this, have super speed.
Oh, they this short. I'm just bro.
Atlanteans have blue skins because none of them are Atlanteans, because Atlanteans in this world always wear masks when they're on the surface, so they're meant to be. Of course, what roles do
What is fucking lag on now? This is fucking.
it has a
Red point, red point. Da 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 da. Thank you.
Bro, but then he still has the same slot, bro. That's so trash. So fucking trash. Slow attack. Tell me, bro, that this was a smart move to have anything else, bro. Compete against characters who can do all these. Fair that this guy cannot win. What the fuck? Taz is literally unusable. Yes.
What if life? Nothing but simulation.
Jesus, man.
This shot is also reminiscent of the destruction of the Heart-shaped Earth in Black Panther 1, where Killmonger destroys it all. Then we meet Riri Williams for the first time in the MCU, played by Dominique Thorne. She and Shuri appear to be good friends, and why wouldn't they be? After all, super geniuses who could be the MCU's science sisters. Now notice this very unique necklace Shuri is wearing. I went back scenes in Black Panther 1. Nowhere does Shuri wear a similar necklace. And we already know how King T'Challa's entire suit
Start.
Sits within the teeth of the necklace.
So could this unique necklace be hiding Shuri's own Black Panther suit? I guess we'll find out, or maybe I'm going way over. See,
Spinning. Approach with
delivered in one of the most powerful ways by Andrew Bassett.
eat this, Fleabag.
Bro,
You drooled on it.
It's not what she said, but how she said it. Which means it's all not Queen, but herself.
bro.
reminiscent of Tony Stark's mural in Spider-Man Far From Home. Notice how this man
Aiming for the fur ball.
Red point, red
Wow,
point.
man.
Da 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 da. It's you.
First ever scripts, and the fact that they made her forge a literal pirate alludes to the fact that she will be MCU. Leaked concept of this video. Let me see
You drooled on it.
assume that the next scene will take place where the while the other takes one for the durable he is than the rest of his run. If you play the trailer, you can see
Epico comes.
Atlanteans were battled. This appears to be the first book that important supporting character named
Blue point, blue point.
Hope you didn't give me fleas.
spear into this glowing thing. Now, unlike Black Panther 1, that's with flawed.
Oh,
The lights on her face and the shadows all seem very, very nicely. The CGI in the trailer looked really good compared to the first Black Panther film. Then we see a chasing sequence.
I'll be washing off slobber for days.
A dark light trying to escape the
I'm
police,
pissed
but to
off,
their
man.
aid comes Wakandan air support that has these cars to make a way for them to escape. And the stuff like the
The move was not so good that they needed to nerf it. I'm so sorry to say, man. Sure, so but now even people in a way that's not spammy can't even fucking use it, bro. It comes out too slow, man. At least make it so that you could put it in a combo a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Something.
And around it, a bunch of Atlanteans approaching it. Ship and the Melage have wires attached to them while they
time.
going to fight the Atlanteans. The Dora Melage came here in the ship and now are ready for the battle. And then the very last shot where we get will also anybody.
I put in the time, I'ma make you mine.
Blue point, blue point.
We are definitely getting a
Whoa,
face-off between
that really rattled my brain cave.
we can clearly
Red point, red point. I'm coming.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. I need to. Let's hit. And it's shorter. Damn, bro. They should have at least. Why do they think they needed so much nerf? They nerfed it in like 6 different aspects instead of just fucking doing something like one and I don't
Hero Wars for sponsoring this video. Hero Wars is a free online multiplayer RPG for all gaming types. Check out the link in description to download Hero Wars. First things first, you're gonna need a team of heroes. Need help deciding? I recommend Celeste. She's a great fit for any team. Next, try challenging an opponent to see your capabilities, claim rewards, and don't forget to...
What's up? In comments. Any series. With all that said, let's see where issues 3 and
Obi-Wan's over. I knew something over a variant, man. They weren't putting out any videos, and now the videos are coming.
That's great.
For a Sith Witch in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Anyway, issue 3 starts off with the Archivist telling us her story in a flashback happening before Order 66. She says, before I became the woman you see before you, I had a very different life. They say working with the dark side corrupts before, but for me, I much simpler. University of access was a close colleague. My theories were given great weight. My publications were revelatory, but because of the subject I chose to devote my life to, I was happy. So she studied the Force user or Sith herself, just a scholar. Now captioned after Order 66, we learned that she wasn't so happy.
But like, see what I'm saying? My texts don't even come out fast enough. But people want to complain about the fucking spin. Like, that's all he has. And I don't even have to do anything else, man. It's like, even if I do other stuff, it's just not. It's just not enough, bro. This dude hit me with his normal, just trying to, but. Man.
Give it a good toss.
Holy fuck, bro.
Some then says, but why? No, I am a good citizen. I follow rules. I gave it up. I swear to you. As the stormtroopers start ransacking the place, stormtrooper thinks. She tells the squad leader, this is outrageous. I'll file a report with the Imperial Governor of the sector. I might not be what I was, but I still have friends out there.
Blue point! Blue point!
As she finishes yelling, a trooper finds
Yeah, but he doesn't have to care. Finn's so good, man.
No, it's nothing. I just kept it.
Finn is so fucking good, man.
And as the squad leader says, guess I'll be making a report too. The other two troopers get blasted from somewhere off panel, and on the stage we see it's Kira, the new leader of I know
Game for the start, and at least make it faster upon activation or something. Take away the kid, bro. Like, that's all he has. I cannot stress it enough. It is all he has. Just get one spin off a match, you know. Even if I do now, is it worth it? No, it's too slow. But there's like, it's weird. To bait them into that or what? Just spam the fucking soup, but the soup sucks. Start something way too slow. Unless you fully hold it, so I can't truly guard. It is unfortunate.
The ones left are by
Talk about up on my ass, bro. He needs to shine. He doesn't have any type of shines. He doesn't have any quick knocks. It sucks.
Is a death sentence. Those who remember stay silent. In time, they will die, and the order will truly be lost. Kira says, I see it much the same way, and talks about how the Empire is just Palpatine, and reveals to Madeline that Palpatine is actually a Sith Lord. This leaves Madeline stunned, saying, I call myself an expert in the dark side, and I missed a Sith Lord right under my nose? And Kira responds, if it's any consolation, so did the Jedi, and they were even closer to it. It's the brazenness of it. The Sith are supposed to haunt the shadows. You do not expect to see one in
Get the hitbox on that attack, bro. But I can't even get it anymore.
fake info. Kira then
That
takes
shit is insane.
all the
Friggin' hurts, you know? Everything on it.
After convincing Madeline to help her, Kira says, I do have a task for you. If working with me does not suit, you are free to leave, with no obligation. As I said, it is an honor simply to meet. Madeline asks, what is the task? And she tells her, the Jedi fought the Sith for centuries. If I could enlist once, I promise they would be incredibly helpful. I believe so have survived. In particular, Yoda. Madeline replies, the Council Master, a small task, I see. Nice to know you have a sense of humor, Kira. He would be a powerful ally indeed, but why do you suspect he survived? To which Kira says, because the Empire never announced his death. Long story short, Madeline accepts the task and starts researching where Yoda could be with the help of Crimson Dawn's research. Then after interrogating a former pilot for the Organa family, she's informed that Yoda was last heard to be headed to the Sluice Center. So of course she goes there and is ultimately drawn to a world called Dagobah, as it was extremely strong. By one of the escape in wanders. It says all in that place is for alone to know, but encountered helped me understand a great man. Self. That I had found. And at that moment, one of the few people who knew give me my life back. Galaxy. I could run it. Yoda had to know all of that. He could have killed me or let the planet do it for him. He chose to teach me. As we see Yoda watching her ship take off and learn that he trained her in some way. She continues to say, I've studied the Force my entire adult life. I focus on the dark side because it spoke to me. I thought it was more realistic. It more clearly reflected who we are. Our motivations, our decisions, the way we usually act. Choices made from selfishness, from attachment, from fear. The light side shows us who we could be. We then see her return to Kira, telling Yoda is dead. At which point Kira says, very well, we'll do it ourselves. Followed by Madeline narrating, I made my decision. For the first time, I was happy. And with that, issue 3 ends, so let's jump into issue 4. There are many lightsabers in the galaxy, but this it's over. It's amazing. The lightsaber. Whistles from the durable polycarbonate blade. The lightsaber. 22 sound fonts and 12 blade colors. The Profi 2.0 with new sound fonts, blade colors, lighting. Our link in the description. Pro.com. If you're just looking at lightsaber, turn on lightsaber. Does give you it's not just a simple plug. In fact, considering how have version of this 10% off your order. Here's plan. Knights of Ren. The Knights of Ren. They were trouble, and the trouble was they knew it. You want to live on a galaxy right on backwater, always on the run, flying around, killing to live. He replied, and we like and killing too. She constantly lightsaber blade through your chest? To which Ren answers, unlikely, while showing his red lightsaber. But I need Force users, and you're the best I can access. Ren then asks, let's say I'm listening. What's the job? So she tells him, actually,
Start
I think you're gonna love
time.
it. Afterwards, we see the Knights of Ren traveling in their transport through the galaxy. As we learn, Ren had accepted her offer. And as we know from previous issues, her mission is to steal something from Fortress Vader. Specifically, a key. Needless to say, Ren's fellow Knights as one of Vader. Woman wants to steal something from this job. I'm not just saying that. We have. As I agree, stay away. We have friends and you
Blow point.
friends. If you're wondering, the Emperor's problems. Sisters, we're small fish. I read it with how we see ourselves. That's what it is. Around to us, she's got resources. She got us a full layout of Fortress Vader and a rundown on its doors and alarms and whatever. Darth Vader, how do you think he'll react if we rob his house? Ren replies, nothing to worry about there, massive. That's why we're doing this mission now. One of Kira's Imperial contacts passed along that Vader's busy guards.
That was
a key, which he has no idea what it opens. Kira wants it. Is to get it and get out. Eventually landing on Mustafar, the Knights jump on speeder bikes and head toward Castle Vader, finding an old ent and blocking the door. So Ren tells his men, we can get past it, but we'll need to do it together. A Knight asks, you think we've got the Force? So they all reach out and using the dark side of the part, the lava, allowing them to walk through the old entrance. Once inside, find the key, but get spotted. Says, I would advise you to leave, but it's far too late for that. I have seen and marked you. My master will learn of your visit. The Knights tell Vader about us if you're dead, as they start firing at him with their blasters. But a force field appears around him, deflecting their fire, as he says, you are fools. My master is very protective of his possessions, of which I am one. The same for you, as he hits an alarm swarming in from everywhere, surrounding the Knights. Blood is all over the plan, slashing through troopers right through the fortress. While fighting, they come up to a room and Ren says, this is it, Vader's vault. One of the saber melting. Runs inside and finds the key they were looking for, but then asks his fellow Knights, why did you guys stop shooting? Everyone dead out there? They reply, no, they all just... Then on the next page, we see why. Darth Vader has arrived, are no longer required. In badass Vader fashion, and follows up saying, you are here uninvited. You pay this. While lifting one of the Knights with the Force and crushing him in the air, turning his body into essentially an illumination. It's right alone, Vader holding him off. As he ignites his lightsaber, Vader says, whoever you are not worthy of that weapon. Everything I have. This thing included. I took it from the one who helped. Knights of Ren,
That's fucking doing my time.
Blow point.
You think that will stop me?
And uses the dark side
Super slow.
lose chunk with one of his knights. Boss. I mean, what's he going to do? As Vader uses the Force to rip the key out of Ren's hand. Ren screams no and says to the Knights, why do the Knights of Ren then start blasting to use his Force to bring the key back to him? With their mission complete, the Knights head back to their ship to bring the key to Kira. Meanwhile, back in Fortress Vader, Vader says to himself, the Knights of Ren, while looking at the body of the Knight of Ren. But there you have it, friends. Crimson Reign issues 3 and 4. There's only one issue left, so Very curious to see how this wraps up before we get into the third and final act of the storyline, the Hidden Empire. As for me, I'm enjoying this series. I love what Marvel has been doing with their Star Wars. I can't wait to see how this with the. And that's gonna bring today's close. This one right here. And if you like all of our content, like, subscribe, and comment. You know the deal. But other than that,
Bro, get the fuck out of here, man.
Good soup.
For DC and has Dark Crisis underway, and now Marvel's latest event that features Eternals and
Play again? Okay!
Warner Brothers.
Come on,
Hey guys, it's a multiverse.
Bark, 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 bark. Woof, woof. Meow, meow.
So the Last of Us remake is coming out relatively soon. It's already the end of July, basically, and it comes out September 2nd. And there's a lot of people that are interested. A lot of them I know are interested, wondering as to why we need a remake of the original Last of Us when there was the remaster on the PlayStation 4, which looked really impressive. But nonetheless, we're getting one. And just a few days ago, there was a gameplay leak. And this is before Sony's official presentation that they had on their own PlayStation YouTube channel. And it didn't look impressive. What you saw there didn't look like it justified spending another $70 on a game that came out in 2013, which is almost a decade ago. But it just wasn't
Start time.
the best way I could describe it. It wasn't a Deep Souls remake jump, any stretch of the imagination. Well, Sony, to I guess combat the leak, came out with that presentation, and it looked better than the leak, but didn't look like it should be $70. In my opinion, and many people in my audience, because we watch it during my live streams, which I live stream basically every day on our TV streams, link below. Point, it just wasn't really, it's like, okay, facial animation was better, there was some scenes where the lighting was better. Yeah, it looks improved, but so anybody, did anyone see that? There's people in series that will, but I'm just saying, from a technical standpoint, I have played the Last of Us before. I played the Last of Us 2, which I'm not a real big fan. It has nothing to do with it. And there's a lot of people thinking that developers have to defend Demon Souls. There's other ones you can actually or
My red point. Like that.
have their hand on the controller. Unless they're solely watching the story,
that's fucking weak.
But you should, when you're
Aggie, bro.
Continues having
I think victory.
built this way originally. You're not still backbone and foundation. Understand. Look at the game. You feel, you know, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's a true game from what but it's a remake. Shouldn't that wow factor be there again? It was low rating, but again, I hate to say it, still would look to be a huge difference over the original. It's just the assets are different, the animations are different. I'm just not seeing that. At least the wow factor isn't there, even though there is with the Last of Us remake. And when you say remake, people think it's going to be completely rebuilt from the ground up. And I'm personally not seeing that, and many other people, not just me, are not seeing that with the Last of Us remake. I think my biggest issue with the Last of Us remake is the stuff. For what they're offering, for what I'm seeing, for what other people are seeing, what we're getting doesn't
start time.
$70. It's the same game with updated visuals from 2013. You could play the remaster on your PlayStation 5. Yes, there's visual differences. I saw them. But is it like a difference? Absolutely not.
Taz wants Scooby snacks.
Think about it, like I said, 50 times.
Hungry. Let go in soup. Taz pressed
Man, what the fuck was that? Bro, what the fuck? You can just throw that out, but I can't be allowed to do my spin, bro. That is insane. Bro, that's ridiculous, man.
Little devil.
Bro, come on, man. What?
Blue point. Blue point. Surprise! He can't stop me that easy.
Well, it seems that Massage Freeze was spicy for Nintendo. The game has definitely suspended.
So it's not even 30.
Before, right, has John right over Minnesota 46. Now, the reason why Massage Freeze has been canceled is eShop. What people
Bro, it's incredible.
Now, the reason why I'm mixed is
Fucking shaggy shit, bro. Fucking shaggy shit, bro.
Winner! Winner! Winner!
Sitting in a restaurant somewhere, a little weird. I personally wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. If that, like, I don't really.
Taz knew he
should
would
still be able to come
sandwich
out.
man.
That's not my main issue with the eShop. Let choice the game. Parents, if you don't want. Have to put the on it. Make sure you come out. That's the issue that the other is just a mess. Party devs in general, you have to wade through a whole bunch of crap, like Massage Freeze. Massage Freeze can be there, but don't let it. But don't have
Come on, pick
like
character.
pile on top of the great games that no one gets to see.
It's
Well, a lot of
time.
times you only find out these games exist on the eShop is by tripping across a video on YouTube, which isn't the way it should be. And I guess Nintendo is like, hey, why are we going to spend millions upon millions of dollars revamping the eShop when we don't have to do that and people could just find the games by watching our Nintendo Directs or tripping across them online? Okay, cool, Nintendo, I get it, but that's not sustainable for the long term. Not that any storefront really out there right now is fantastic, whether it be Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, or even Steam. Steam has improved, but it still has a long out. And like I said, too, today, and really dig through all the releases and see the new games that are on the eShop, you can't find them because the further you go down, the eShop starts to lag. This game, getting off the eShop or being canceled, the eShop Massage Freaks. Let them buy what they want. But beyond that, just Massage Freaks stuff. eShop is a slow that ends up finding a bunch of great people like me who want to buy it. You're missing out on money here. Money on the table. This is Richard.
Blue point! Blue point! Coming! Winner! 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 Winner!
Play again.
Okay.
Come on, pick. Start time.
Come out of San Diego Comic this year was boobs. The announcement of the entire slate of upcoming movies, TV shows, and toilet seat covers for Marvel Phase 5. Out sludge at people. Audience breathe or think even for a second about what they've just seen. Go, go, go! Now, I have to admit, my first thought on hearing this was wrong. It feels like Marvel have pumped out more shit in the past couple of years than all previous phases put together. Not to mention proving the
What
point
the
that more
fuck?
doesn't necessarily equal better. But the thing that's been lacking in this phase is purpose. And I'm not talking about the fucking glorious purpose that Loki bangs on about. Every previous phase in the MCU has felt like an escalation of event. The next major story expanded the place offs and of even better things to come.
Come on,
Phase
pick
4 on the other
character.
hand just felt like an extremely long-winded joke without a punch. And ideas with their plan of where it wanted to go or how to get there. That's got to be set. Come out a reason for its own existence. Over into the universe movie for a legacy goofy fraction of their core audience even, and capped it all off with a Black Panther movie that doesn't even have Black Panther in it anymore. Chadwick Boseman was simply irreplaceable as T'Challa. His death at such a young age was an absolute
Elden Ring was a million units sold as of May 11, which is why it's very likely that we'll game at some point in the future. And while there's no official info yet, there are hints currently in the game for new areas and good content that has been recovered that could also be related to a potential expansion. So if you're excited to hear more about the future of Elden Ring, then a like on the video would really help the channel out. Now let's go. So while FromSoft usually releases one or more big paid DLC expansions, I think there might be a chance we also get some free extra content for Elden Ring as well. We've seen that prior updates introduced new quest lines, but another thing I think we might see drop as free content are the
Spinning and just go
There's been a
home.
lot of talk about these currently inaccessible buildings. You can already find it.
You fucking chances.
However, YouTuber's second review released some more also files related to them. One interesting thing here is the fact that there are two mostly spawned in the middle of one of the global settings, which make 8 files especially the final name sounds like the first review, which I actually have a theory about. We'll get to that in a bit. Second review also recovered files for the place called Stormville Coliseum, and Well, these are currently able to enter them at school.
Blue point! Blue point! Stop spinning so I can kick your butt!
My theory
Watch your bark! Winner! 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 Dog. Continue?
from an April Fool's fan video, which makes it very likely that the Elden Ring League is fake too. The one thing that does seem somewhat realistic, halfway through June, the official Elden Ring going forward, which is of course something they've been doing since launch, with many bug fixes and balance changes added to the game or those new quest lines I mentioned earlier. We also know From Software is currently working on multiple new projects with different directors, as Miyazaki himself confirmed in an interview with the Japanese website 4Gamer. He also said, as director, I'm already working on the next title, which we already know isn't Elden Ring related thanks to that interview, so there's actually a high chance that one of these other directors he mentioned is currently working on Elden Ring. Start was actually found by streamer and fans have been curious about for a while now and found something strange. There's a specific spot on the world map covered by a giant cloud, which isn't all that realized.
The world, my buffet.
In the game. And when Elijah used a glitch to reach the spot on the map, there was a perfect square shadow in the middle of the water, which is very strange to say the least. And while I think the area covered by the cloud is pretty small for an entire expansion, this might very well be the spot we use to enter a new region. Because again, if you look at how FromSoft has previously handled their DLCs, each area has been completely separated from the main game. Dark Souls 1 had us travel back in time, Dark Souls 2 teleported us to the realms of 3 different kings, Dark Souls 3 had one DLC inside of a painted world and one inside another kingdom far off, and Bloodborne took place in a nightmare inside of a dream. If I mentioned Bloodborne's lore is weird yet, anyway, it's very clear that FromSoft doesn't like to be held back by what they've previously designed and rather start with a clean slate, even for an expansion. Looking at further trends in their DLC, most of them also added major story elements regarding characters we've already met earlier, like Artorias in Dark Souls 1, Calls for Bloodborne, and Gale in Dark Souls 3. And this is where things get really interesting, as there is one character in Elden Ring that has a lot of questions surrounding him still, which is Mikola. If that name rings a bell, you've probably met his sister Melania, who speaks very highly of him, as her armor description reads, "My brother will keep his promise. He possesses the wisdom, the allure of a god. He is the most fearsome Empyrean of all." Yet currently, his body is sitting inside some sort of cocoon arena, using him to I don't kill mode, but are uninteract with Mikola after. But if we go back to the round table hall, Gideon has even tells us, well, I wonder what comes next.
Come on, pick.
But perhaps it would be safer to destroy it. Mikola is the only thing that remains in this very major character who is hyped up to be even more fearsome than a rat, currently in a slumber, but with Gideon clearly afraid of what happens when he wakes. Which I think is already a great build-up to add him as a character in a potential expansion, but there is even more if we look at cut content. Because Mikola apparently also went by a different name, that of Saint Trina. Cut Dialogue has an NPC who flat out states this, with they are one and the same person. The reason I mention this is because Saint Trina is related to a lot of games, and we have an entire quest line of good content related to the same. Of the game, because the sleeping animals were in a sleep ways, which I already a great build-up to add character in a potential expansion, but there is even more if we look at a different name, that of Saint. The dialogue is even now there are many clues in the game that imply they are one and the same. This is because China is related to using items in the game. We have an entire quest line of good content which has us using items related to the same to explore people's dreams, as well as YouTuber love for reporting on this good quest line, which we know was good very late development. Because the sleep required for it was part of the net, which took place a couple of months. To explore someone's dream prior events, one where we literally allow us to re-experience.
Hope this isn't a never-ending thing.
That. So the big question that remains is when can we expect it? Well, if we look at the release date for prior forms of DLCs, soon. The longest time between a game release and an expansion was for Dark Souls 1 as the release of the Abyss DLC released 11 months after the main game. So, by that standard, if we look at Elden Ring's release date, which was on 25th February, a late Elden Ring DLC release will likely hit at the end of the year or early 2023 at the latest, which would also mean we should expect that soon. Game on a stage as well. But it isn't Elden Ring being an open world game might mean an expansion takes longer to develop too, as the game took almost 5 years to make, whereas development time for Dark Souls 3 was only 2 to 3 years for example. Of course, if you have any theories on what you can watch your previous video by clicking on the screen. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Wrap you in cape like parade.
Earth's mightiest heroes have starred in dozens upon dozens of video games in the last 4 decades. The iconic web slinger's first same decade also saw the Hulk. However, an actual Avengers game would not hit the market until Data East shipped its arcade beat-em-up Captain America. A range of mobile games, crossover titles, and LEGO-branded experiences have since allowed players to assemble their favorite heroes. Yet, no title was expected to capture the weight of being an Avenger, quite like 2020's Marvel's Avengers. Developer Crystal Dynamics and publisher Square Enix unveiled Marvel's Avengers during E3 2000. Among the sellings, within approximately Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix sat on the receiving end of furious backlash for backtracked promises. Platform exclusive content, performance bore fruit.
as an animal.
Holy crap, Drax. You gotta stop doing this, man. It's weird.
You're approaching the quarantine zone. Marvel's gaming vertical has always partnered with a variety of developers and publishers, striking out on some occasions, while hitting pay dirt after inking deals with the likes of PlayStation and Insomniac Games. According to Marvel Games Vice President and Creative Director Bill Roseman, the entertainment giant sought out cross interpret Marvel's stories and simultaneously uphold the brand's DNA. Comics' acclaimed reimagining of the Tomb Raider IP with its 2013 reboot accomplished as much with respect to Lara Croft, inspiring Marvel's interest in teaming up with the public. January 2017, Entertainment and Square Enix jointly announced the Avengers superhero game produced. A 50-second teaser trailer accompanied the news, featuring imagery of Mjolnir, Captain America's shield, and bits of Iron Man's armor scattered in rubble. While the companies initially planned on sharing more details, the Avengers project wouldn't re-enter the limelight until E3 2019. Marvel's Avengers A-Day, which offered a glimpse at the opening segment of the Superteam's new West Coast headquarters and system. The reveal also featured the first supplements to the story-driven single-player campaign. Crystal Dynamics representatives preemptively mitigated any cause for concern, with one developer guaranteeing to win. The E3 reveal went off without a hitch. Crystal Dynamics faced the slings and arrows of skepticism in the days following the announcement. All displeased from playable characters: Captain America, Black Widow, Iron Man, the Hulk, and Thor. Much of the criticism revolved around each hero's uncanny similarities to their MCU counterparts. The character designs were changes, yet every event updates at launch, with Black Widow's and Thor's character models undergoing the most drastic alterations. But the confirmation of microtransactions sounded the loudest alarm bells in terms of post-E3 2019 news. Creative director Sean Escott shared cursory details in an IGN interview, teasing the custom outfits players could purchase through an in that all and hold no bearing on gameplay, somewhat lessen the blow. The public's faith in Crystal Dynamics' ability to uphold such promises.
Red point, red point!
This video has been brought to you in part by Manscaped.com. Have you been noticing a scent around your gaming station lately? Thanks to Manscaped, foul odors and unruly bushes are a thing of the past. Manscaped comes with the Lawnmower 4.0, featuring powerful LED-proof design, in addition to the Crop and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner Spray, plus the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. And for a limited time only, the proof is not one, but 2 free gifts. So what are you waiting for? Get 20% off, plus free shipping when using our code at manscaped.com. Your body will thank you. Considered the developer's most ambitious project by head of studio Scott Amos, Marvel's Avengers proved a huge namely Nix's Crystal Dynamics Bellevue-based sound Enix Japan Great. Amos told additionally by top across the industry. Uncharted developed S guy Meanwhile, wrapping up God of War 2018, X more or less assembled a dream team of its own to bring the Avengers to life like never before. Yet players wouldn't get to experience the fruits of the studio's labor in May 2020 as planned. Months ahead of its originally scheduled due date, Crystal Dynamics delayed Marvel's Avengers to September 2020, citing a need for extra production time to ensure the final product met the high standards fans expected and deserved. The news update, penned by co-heads of studio Scott Amos and Ron Rosenberg, expressed confidence that the resulting experience would players alike called said confidence into when the launch date arrived. Exclusive side of the raised a or two in the Crystal Dynamics previously confirmed such as data many too significant of a platform. The Byzantine in-game and its $10 hero-specific battle passes similarly caused a stir. No, such concerns would soon. Mixed beta cloud scores surrounding Marvel's Avengers. Ultimately, the title's flawed September 2020 rollout on Google PS4 and Xbox One demonstrated why those who participated in the beta sessions walked away with reservations. The awe-inspiring visuals and finely crafted was itching for more action. Yet the scarcity of more action was precisely the problem. The loot-based endgame content felt sparse at best. Its offerings giving users few reasons to stick around. Bugs only examined what had become a rather turbulent launch for one of the year's most. Crystal Dynamics tackled shortly patch addressing over 1,000 known issues across all platforms. The update resolved everything from to combat hiccups and progression blocking glitches. These efforts did nothing to stall the mass exodus for Marvel's Avengers, evidenced by its Steam player count falling below 3,000 before the end of September. By early October, the PC player base had dipped to sub 1,000 users, culminating in the rise of matchmaking difficulties. As interest in the live service waned, Scott Amos issued a statement claiming the development team's then upcoming plans would encourage users on PC and consoles to return in droves.
Bro, should have started the match by eating the ball, huh?
Soon after, Crystal Dynamics pushed Kate Bishop's arrival as a playable character to December, while the free PS5 and Xbox Marvel's Avengers shortcomings were low to Square Enix's pocketbooks since the quarter in which the $62 million loss, with net sales down 30% compared to the previous quarter when Final Fantasy VII Remake had come out. The company avoided the specifics, but games analyst David Gibson noted Marvel's Avengers only achieved 60% of its projected sales, amounting to an estimated 3 million units sold in the first month. Square Enix president Yosuke Matsuda the Avengers game even failed to recoup production costs. Notably, ample content offerings would offset slow initial well into 2021 and beyond.
Automatic.
After the Kate Bishop operation arrived in December 2020, the next major update came threefold the following March. Hawkeye's Future Imperfect chapter and free next-gen PlayStation 5 and Xbox series fulfilled post-launch promises that had long gone unsatisfied for several months. The March 2021 updates XP the one change the vast majority of players did not appreciate. Dubbed a cosmetic index, will increase the grind from level 25 up, requiring users to earn more XP before reaching the next level. The amount of points needed to progress also increased as the 50th level drew near, ridding Marvel's Avengers of its original so-called straight-line leveling system. Because the new XP curve meant progression milestones took longer to achieve, many read the rebuild as stimulating longer periods of engagement.
Oh, you got me.
However, Crystal Dynamics claimed the points too quickly. Rested in guaranteeing each investment of a skill point felt more meaningful. Cosmetic rework, which made it longer occurred when players opened strong boxes, completed missions, or leveled. As such, earning sufficient in-game units constituted the sole way to purchase previously unlocked items, an adjustment the studio equated to providing more player agency and quality. The ensuing backlash suggested users were displeased with
Red point!
regardless of developer intent. Crystal Dynamics still tried explaining its decision post-Fallout, insisting player feedback inspired the XP. As far as the online community was concerned, Marvel's Avengers demanded fresh content, not a level up. To the delight of fans, subsequent months introduced a host of in-game events, content, Panthers, War for recognition as the highlight of Marvel's Avengers launch releases. And of paid XP 21 halted forward momentum what many believed had an redemption arc for the live service. Notably, the in-game sold XP booster. Fans were quick to cite the E3 2019 presentation where developers proudly proclaimed microtransactions would remain exclusive to cosmetic items. Thus, less than a month after squandering player trust with the addition of XP boosters, Crystal Dynamics removed the offending consumables. Developers hope their response to the outcry marked the start of restoring community confidence in the Marvel's Avengers team. Several other snags further blemished the games as a service adventure, though. For instance, the long-delayed PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man expansion lacked new story missions, despite previous teases suggesting otherwise. Director Philippe Thierry told IGN the decision spawned from a desire to dedicate most resources towards crafting content for all players, which begged the question of why Square Enix even eager with Sony. Mishaps with early 2022 updates further complicated the title's occasional bursts of weird health. Crystal Dynamics designed the Wartail rework patch to ease the onboarding process for newcomers. However, PS5 crashing issues and the purposeful erasure of multiple missions shadowed the updates. Whenever sizable title updates peeked over the horizon, Marvel's Avengers play. During an E3 2019 interview with GameSpeak, Square Enix president Yosuke Matsuda called Crystal Dynamics a good fit for Marvel's Avengers, given the studio's pedigree in the action-adventure genre. While addressing shareholders in an annual report 2 years later, Matsuda admitted that disappointing performance of Marvel's Avengers emphasized the importance of matching developers with the types of games that befit previously demonstrated skills. The creative spent over a decade exclusively producing Tomb Raider adventures and no business managing a multi-year live service experience. Marvel's Avengers shined the brightest at a single-player campaign. Building on the storytelling and gameplay strengths Crystal Dynamics accrued after years of serving as the steward of Lara Croft's legacy, and therein lies the ultimate misfortune. Crystal Dynamics did create a good Avengers game. One burden developers were so to our Hall of Fame reward tier, Alex Moretti, and those currently subscribed to our producer reward tier. That is our secret song. Get wrecked.
Dead. Wow. Dude, text him up.
Stealth games are often slow and stressful affairs, lacking the pizzazz or immediate gratification. Users through their sense of satisfaction that they were doing is unlike anything else. For a generation of gamers, stealth titles like the every free and environments provided in order to avoid being caught. It was a month, and it was followed shortly after its release parties.
Come on, pitch parent to like me.
The series made itself known that Looking Glass was forced to close its doors, and its ownership was passed on to Storm's Austin branch. The latter would do its best amid trying circumstances to do Thief justice. While not would have strong, but like a curse from us, third entry would neither save or prevent the series from in peace. Were this all that there was to Thief's history, we'd be remiss calling it tragic. Yet in between all of its mainline titles, the series saw no shortage of support from its fans, who did their best to keep its memory alive with pro bono projects of stunning ambition. And when these fans were also AAA developers, the games that they produced rarely failed to do the same. This is the rise and fall of Thief. Last decade of the 20th century, few video game developers inspired as much reverence as the Massachusetts-based Looking Glass studio. By a small yet passionate group of designers, Looking Glass's first 5 years were spent winning over PC gamers' hearts with a catalog that was
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream.
Ultima Underworld, The Stygian Abyss, wowed role-playing fans in 1992 with its deep mechanics and immersive labyrinthine world. Environments at a time when most other video games
established with the Halo videos, I'm obviously a glutton for punishment. When I said I might review the series, well, honestly, I was lying to myself. The rest of this, and it seems like most of you wanted to hear me complain about it. So here we are. Like I said in the previous video, I honestly think this is the worst video game adaptation of all time, because in reality, it's not an adaptation. Outside of a few scenes and some enemies from the games, and there being zombies and a T-virus and Wesker, this show does not resemble the original game. So you'd really be better off watching any other Resident Evil content than this. Even though none of the Paul W.S. movies or the animated canon films reach the quality of the games, at least they're better than this. Because of my own terrible memory, editing, I've decided episode more accurate reaction and try not to miss little plot details. And I've decided to combine scenes and future scenes, respectively, into one we say back in the future about a video. So listen. Zombies behind, can't get through for some reason, and an armored SUV shows up for no discernible reason, and she jumps on top of it and drives away. FR gets out and threatens to she gets out of nowhere, like 10 zombies just drop on the top of a bridge and eat the guy. She steals the car and drives away. She eventually arrives in Dover, another safe zone, and she finds some cat lady and talks to her about the
More Circus of Strange
state that they have set up in these smoke deployed. And then Jade calls her husband and she tells the story of what happened over the past couple days. And he tells her to make her way to LA. At first I thought he said Cal.
Bro, it hits me. Keep on.
City in France. I don't know how they would expect, but whatever. So Jade asks the cat lady if she knows anybody who has
like you. Aiming for the
says she has no incredibly herself up towards the stock magazine.
You drooled on
Bro.
His wife, and so Jade has to save awful. Derek, keeping around your infected loved one in hope that they're secure. Apparently, honestly, I thought this plot was okay, at least for an episode of television. The plot means it begins the it was not you are for the plot of the going. We are now tortured with several to Billy slowly turning, by making you ask, oh, is she resisting it? Or is she getting more? Well, of course she's getting more infected. And finally, half of episode 2 and 3 is just dedicated to this build-up. And so getting back to the plot, Wesker shows up first, patches up Billy, tells the two to sneak out, and he'll cover for them. In the next scene, we see him talking to the CEO of Umbrella, which is a woman, not just a woman, but also a lesbian.
Angry.
And her name is Evelyn, and unless I missed it in these 2 episodes, she never says her last name. I'm gonna assume it's Spencer. At least I hope it's Spencer. They're trying to connect it to says that the zombie dog escaped as a result of a hacker. And at the end of the conversation, he pulls a Commander Shepard. I should go. In the next scene, we see him caretaking Billy. He's mentioned directly COVID. Of course, we gotta talk about
Bro, what? Yo, Batman is a menace.
Very rarely
Doing way too much. Can't even eat his better or anything. Come out too fast.
So, moving on. In the next scene, we are led to believe that Billy is immune, so confident in this that he injects some of her blood into a rat. And we also see that if Wesker doesn't inject himself with his daughter's blood, he starts spazzing out. I don't know if he dies or turns or something. They don't really explain it. And then in the next scene, we see a really first scene where that doesn't is it 20 years some dark side of some guy talking about the Tijuana zombie outbreak. This poor Channer looks nothing like one. And Jake is a complete bitch to him for absolutely no reason. And he still helps her anyway. Then we see Wesker talk to Evelyn again, but it's a completely pointless scene. Wesker tries to weasel his way out of developing the... He's out pretty much immediately. Of course, nobody on her. Room. Became a zombie suddenly, and then started the... So stupid. And the Chihuahua starts to detect it, so it starts a conspiracy theory site. The dude doesn't want to show his face, says that she's not going to talk to anybody who won't show their face. And despite being an obvious trope of a crazy conspiracy theorist who doesn't trust anybody, he immediately shows his face and explains his backstory. I can't tell if this is bad writing or if it's purposely subversive. It doesn't really matter. We don't learn anything important we didn't already know. Then we see that despite the Chihuahua not anywhere near Billy, is able to take the dog on a walk, and the dog collar runs off in the distance, random white guy, and is about to give it back to Billy, but since the dog is barking at her, the guy's like, is this actually your dog? Can you prove it? Of course, Billy leaves her phone at home. Who the fuck does that? But we need forced drama in this scene. So the guy wants to take the dog to the pound. So Billy, being influenced by the zombie virus, goes ballistic and punches the guy in the face. And then she just grabs the Chihuahua, who doesn't even try to run away at this point. This guy is fucking floored by a teenage girl. This is just sad in so many ways. Again, it's just petty. This is such a poor...
What?
Turning into a fucking zombie, so the dog is terrified. Wouldn't he run away all over? This is just a complete waste of time. And I don't know what the purpose was. Billy's symptoms are steadily getting worse. The rat is injected with her blood is now turned into a zombie. Trying to escape. Yeah, episode 2 still kind of sucked because the video dragged out.
The fact that that nigga just like that, man. Shaggy is broke.
It feels like it's going somewhere. But I just knew when I saw the first episode that the TAZ was just going to waste everyone's time. And it looks like I'm already right. Episode 3. It starts off with some sort of 60 minutes type segment where there's an interview going on with Evelyn that actually makes reference to City, the original. Much like the original, the US government was able to escape this unscathed, I guess, because they don't make any.
He's doing too fucking.
And honestly, it just makes me hope they never.
Bro, come on.
And as is explained in a later scene, yes,
That's so
and of
broken,
course,
bro.
A small dose of the T virus is being used. In
He's hitting me with 2 attacks at once every time, bro.
Next scene, Jade checks in on Billy.
Continue.
Lies to her dad about her condition. I honestly have no idea why. Jade just has huge daddy issues, and it's not even explained at all, except for, I guess Dad forced us to move to this place I don't like, because there's a bunch of white people here. But it still doesn't make sense, because if Wesker cares about his daughter, he would barge in there fucking laboratory covers the quickly finds it off screen in between scenes and views some of its blood under a microscope, and yes, of course, living cells or something. Conspiracy theory site that it takes 3 days for a human to turn into. It's probably in fiction. As far as I'm concerned, days just seems like to drag this along. What I said, I'm just repeating my. I could probably get future Billy scenes because it literally is. Oh look, she's getting worse and worse hallucination to sound. So I guess all zombies have autism. The hacker dude wants to find out if coffee is good for you and starts falling for Jade despite being verbally abused. We all learn that Evelyn, despite the fact she's a lesbian, surrogate child. So far, on Wesker's things, he goes to a huge umbrella meeting, tries to convince everyone. He uses besides this point. Evelyn unveils actually working super version of controls people, or at least turns them into some kind. Being incredibly vulnerable to making people the perfect consumers, which for obvious reasons would probably make the most successful corporation of all time ever. We also find out that it takes 20,000 pills of joy to turn you into a zombie. Red point! How the hell did they even test for this? Did they just give the Doberman 20,000 fucking condensed pills or something? This is such a high number that it's kind of ridiculous. If you took 1 pill a day, every day, it would take you 54 years to become infected. You'd think the body would filter out the poison at that point if it's so insignificant. Maybe it's like a kidney stone and it eventually just blows up.
No more
so, of course,
spinning.
Evelyn makes the argument that that's way too many pills for it to realistically infect anybody. And honestly, she's probably right. In the next scene, so he can find a cure her by telling her that just imagine how much money Umbrella could make if they were the only ones who controlled the cure. Which makes
Bro,
sense.
what?
And a super grabs the
Here comes gravity.
Jade escapes into a shipping container and meets another family that tells her an alternate route to Calais.
Now go shed on someone else.
Family of 3, but honestly, they don't fucking
Rematch?
Okay! It's yet another generic zombie trope episode. And so in the next scene, Jade pays for passage through these tunnels. And
Come on,
through
pick
the tunnels, we find
character.
out this is liquid territory.
that
Yes,
rabbit?
Another Resident Evil thing in
I
the
couldn't do
Resident
shit
Evil
against her
show.
before, now I
Unfortunately,
really
the
can't.
umbrella fat guy
That
and
shit
his
sucks.
troops are right behind them, and they make a shit ton of noise. And apparently, they have no idea what liquors are, which makes no sense. And so we get a pretty decent horror scene where the liquors start impaling a bunch of people with their tongues and tackle some people and kill them. And the CGI is kind of shitty. Probably the best scene, so I'll let it slide. And almost everybody dies except for Jade. The family she's traveling to has a triple barrel shotgun, which could also be a Resident Evil reference, possibly, but it's probably just a coincidence. And I want to point out something that I mentioned in the first episode. I think this show reuses props from the Halo TV show. Remember when I pointed out that they have vectors, that they put a bunch of sci-fi crap on to make them look like unique guns, which is exactly what the evil resistance leader guy's men from Halo used? Well, in this episode, Jade uses a rhino Halo show. Shows how supremely lazy these production production companies are. They probably all rent out the same sci-fi props. The
No
worst
more
part of the
spinning.
scene is that while the Umbrella Dude's men needs to stop a licker by slamming a car door into his face, which is incredibly lame, especially showing how they're so powerful. Now, as they're traveling through the service tunnel, we see another Resident Evil reference, as there's a giant spider that pretends more badass than the tarantulas in Resident Evil. Dale. There's absolutely nothing to it. Yes. Making these bulletproof is not very Resident Evil, I gotta say. I'll try not to say that too many more times over the course of this. Child of the family hanging out with Jade, TAZ, so he's about to so Billy attacks both the guy and Jade because of course the family's not gonna give up their son. So the father sacrifices himself, placing a gun against the giant spider. And so Jade and the mother and now the child is starting to turn into a zombie. The father still won't let it go, so Jade just leaves her behind. Shitty cover of
Everything on it.
Dead. It's like nothing I could do, man. Why would they do this to me?
Don't get fleas on me.
So, honestly, Mark episode because at least there were some connections to the games. Seeing the lickers,
Wow, man.
Slowly turn to a zombie is incredibly tiring. Yes, at least it is.
No more spinning.
Somewhat surprised by these.
Johnson always came naturally to me.
Showing us how the conspiracy theory guy apparently lived there, was a journalist, but wasn't making jack shit. And it seems like he was hoping this story with this woman talking about her experience at the Umbrella factory there would be his story. So she tells him the story of how her husband had symptoms over the course of 3 days. Then in the next scene, we see that Wesker fails to find it because she only has 3 zombification. And speaking of Billy, she decides that she wants to go to a party, essentially infect on a piece.
Maybe now you will stop
Selfless heroes, ladies and gentlemen. And so they make their way to the park. The party is taking place in like a construction zone.
Come on,
The guy apparently is a skateboarder as well and does some trick on a half pipe and lands pillow. I don't know. I'll be honest. But Jade watching guy, it's so much. Make it New Raccoon City in camera, and Evelyn recognizes him. Then we see that Wesker has a chair set up with handcuffs for when Billy turns, so that he can contain her there to look for a cure. Others are not home, so that he can chain her up, and so he goes to look for them. Then back at the party, Billy starts talking shit about her sister, about how she's selfish and an asshole and all that stuff. Honestly, being the voice of the audience, which was a little cathartic, but honestly wasn't deserved from Billy, because if anything, Billy's the only character that cares about. Then obviously couldn't figure this out. As the conspiracy goes and finds the girls, and tries to warn them about the zombie virus. Wesker is Resident Evil 5 canon in this universe too? Because I'm pretty sure that's when it takes place. And if so, that makes the modern Wesker believable. From an argument, we have 95% of the world population. Boros, like a dirty science shitty day. Then we see him tied up, and Evelyn interrogates him, and he tries to reason with him about what he knows. And then both the past and future play side by side in this scene, but I'm going to ignore that for the sake of the summary. Basically, Billy's timer runs out.
Bro, come on with the bullshit, bro.
Here's the problem with this scene that I'm sure some of you also thought of. There's no way that time needs to measure it down to exactly when Jade got hit by the zombie. Scene is to show that I've been subverted.
Bro, that is insanity, dude.
Virus. This is explained in the next episode.
Winner!
It begins with Jade and Fatty being taken to Calais, and for whatever reason, Fat Guy references SpongeBob.
TAZ win!
Play again. Let's go!
This is something that is consistently annoying about this show, is that it will keep referencing real-world popular names and franchises and IPs. This is why I hate references and referential names in general now, because that in itself is supposed to be a joke. But here's the thing, this is even worse than a meme, because he's just vocally referencing it. There's no clip, there's no SpongeBob icon shown on the screen. This is like one of those lazy Marvel movie references to get the boomers, or in this case, younger millennials and zoomers, to be more invested. Because I know what that is. We also learn in this scene that the Brotherhood are crazy cultists who crucify people upside down if they're a non-believer. Yeah, get ready for some anti-religion propaganda in this episode. And so we learn that they're being taken to a Nazi laboratory? I wish I was making this up, but yeah, I don't know what else to call it. I thought it was a prison or possibly a concentration camp at first. And apparently the Brotherhood have found a way to control the zombies to work for them. And so the duo are taken to the leader of the cult, and this Frenchman believes that all the survivors are to the world. Blamed, by the way, they're just generic crazy cultists. Be checked for this show. Both money. Trying. All she says, zombies are bad. And so she punches in the face. To come back. Zombies are working for the cultists, and they have a Mr. Salvador that chops up humans and feeds it to a Screecher zombie, and the Screecher zombie can control the other zombies. Then Fat Guy reveals he has a plan to escape, calls himself the Master of Unlocking, yes really, and pleads with Jade to help him escape. She eventually helps him, they break out of the cell. Fatty pushes a guy over the railing and he makes a Wilhelm scream. Any fucking editor who puts in the Wilhelm scream needs to be blacklisted from the fucking industry. I'm tired of hearing it. It's not funny. Everyone gets the reference. You're not clever. You're not cool. You're not part of any club. And I was cool Resident Evil 4 reference or something. But just get shot in the head by a mouse. Could be reference, but still anti us on purpose. Back up on show up. releases every get a surprisingly cool series. It seems really out of character, and it is a lit show so far. Takes this chance to just fucking stupid, but whatever. She isolates the queen and kills her with a chainsaw, but then the zombie horde chases her down. She locks herself in a cell. She calls her daughter one last time, attempting very poorly to convince the audience she's gonna die here. It's only episode 4, and she's the main fucking character. And of course her phone only has 1% battery left, so she barely has time to even tell her daughter that she's proud of her and loves her and yada yada. To go out fighting, but the chainsaw won't start back up. But thankfully she finds not just one grenade, but like 5 of them. And they're not even German grenades, they're American grenades. So who knows how those ended up in a Nazi laboratory, but whatever, okay. The very last grenade that she decides to throw is a dud. And so she prepares to fight them with just a wrench. But as soon as the zombies break down the door, that somehow sets off the grenade. And there's a huge explosion, but of course Jade is just fine. And just as one surviving zombie is about to bite her, Patty climbs into her. She can't, of course, more than Jade at least.
Punch through the fucking
At least
tornado.
he had a cool action scene. What a shitty way to go out. Jade climbs her way out of the. That's the end of the episode. I think I'm gonna say this is the plot in the past still sucks. At least it's getting less annoying, and it did subvert my expectations in a way that's honestly just fine. While I still don't really like Billy, I don't hate her anymore. She's not as obnoxious as she was. And now that they've referenced that the Raccoon City incident has actually happened in universe, and possibly also Resident Evil 5 happened, I'm kind of looking to do with this. But it was a pretty generic monster of the week type of episode with a generic evil cult that is making zombie queen.
What the fuck?
Spin-offs of zombies in the
Couldn't move.
and also it's a T-virus created by organic weapons that could be used. There's no reason to have a zombie queen. But I will say the action scene with Fat Guy was legitimately entertaining, if a little ridiculous. So we're about up to a 4 out of 10.
Rules on it.
Still not watchable, but it's a step in the right direction.
Bro, what?
This episode is almost entirely in the past. There's only 2 future scenes that last less than a minute each.
Bro, why is Batman able to do this? Bro.
Survived, and even though we were told last episode, assuming Jade was being metaphorical, and yes, I was right. Now onto this plot. This episode is full of Resident Evil references, which doesn't really redeem the show for me. I'm not the type of guy who's impressed by fan service. You should know this if you watch my video game reviews. For this episode, I'll say.
What?
Discovering that the kid made it home, but instead of going home himself, he is forced by a security guy to go meet with him to where the conspiracy guys being kept story as journalists, and we are given yet another this is a lot of things.
What the fuck?
Conspiracy theories are often that hole was
Bro, come on, man. Cheating. Batman is cheating as fuck, man. Holy shit, bro.
and this is not the
No fucking way,
Then the
man.
journalist reveals that he knows Wesker's daughters, so Wesker tortures the guy, revealing some of his personality, I guess. Then back with Jade and Billy, they start talking about how they have no idea who their mothers are. But for some reason they reference Rick and Morty. And so the duo agree to find their birth certificates. They search their dad's room and find a dog whistle, a handgun magazine, and a laptop. So Jade calls her hacker boyfriend. He breaks into the laptop. He finds some stuff about William Burke, which they don't investigate. And they find that would be sent to Billy if anything ever happened to Wesker. That gives her instruction, umbrella, and start a new life with Jade. Then the hacker guy tells them that there's a bunch of secret cameras in their house and helps them avoid the cameras. The problem is, something really stupid happens. Apparently, there's a camera hidden in the thermostat that is directly facing the stairs, right? So apparently they have to crouch super down low on the stairs to avoid the camera. Here's why this doesn't make any fucking sense. Not only is it facing the stairs, but the stairs have a clear glass railing.
What in the fuck?
This camera. What the fuck is the camera even looking at? It's to be avoided. This makes no sense. You're treating the audience like a bunch of idiots. Seriously, just take a look at this for yourself. It's clearly facing directly at the stairs. There's no way they could have avoided this camera without jumping off. So anyway, they do a bunch of Metal Gear style running around to avoid the other cameras. They find a hidden note in a picture frame which references something that happened in Jade's childhood.
Aiming for the fur ball.
Bro, this shit is ridiculous. This nigga throws a batarang and then runs away, bro. Why, bro? Why? Look at this bitch, man.
So right after been pretty decent so far, they have to ruin it by having forced drama between the two. What? Cell. System. The dog.
Somehow, insane, bro. Shit is crazy, bro.
The chair with hand vials of their blood. They also discover a box labeled Raccoon City 19. CD injects Lisa Trevor. Lisa Trevor is in this show, and I'm guessing it's the G virus because it's back. Find some trees. Billy documenting information if she was going to contain her chair. The girls are obviously freaked out. They try and unplug one of the computers, and it sets off a self-destruct sequence for all so they can't escape the files themselves, and there's a fire extinguisher protocol or something that saves. Of course, and really, this is where the episode shit. Decides to tell their names, but the daughters are, of course, still of him. He gets closer. Jade pulls like a man for once and grabs her hand to take control, and then Billy smacks the back of the metal pan, knocking him unconscious. Fucking damn it! This episode was actually pretty good. Albert Wesker Tasker gets knocked out by a 14-year-old girl meant for Billy, and he admits that the two fight Ubermensch. Yes, really, they're genos apparently, which is why Billy's immune system was strong enough to fight off the virus. He then tells them that unless he protects them, Umbrella will come after them for obviously being the cure to again. Yeah. And yeah, I'd say episode 5 probably the best episode yet. Honestly, it really is carried by all the references to the previous Resident Evil games, and the setup of like the Spencer Mansion is honestly just a cool idea even on its own, and all the things that are there's drama. This teenage hacker boy is just for no reason. He's done so much, not even a kiss in return. Wester being such a fucking beta male cuck is pissing me, dude. There better be a damn good explanation for name other similarities. It's just getting annoying. That said, this episode was decently entertaining. It didn't cut between the past and the future, which really fucks up the pacing of this show. It's something I haven't really talked about much. Now this time it was just 45 minutes of two teenage girls investigating their house, which has cool Resident Evil puzzles in it. And Lisa Trevor being in the show is definitely something I never expected. I'd say this thing I would anybody watch. So this video has become way too long at this point. So yeah, things are actually at the end, but I think some of the producers
happening sometimes,
show is that it's too bad to get one of the worst first episodes I've ever seen to get. So that's about it. I'm good.
You?
I gotta go take the trash out. I'll be right back.
In the world of horror games, there seems to be two branches